Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles. I'm going to talk about tabletop gaming, which kind of bores her, but we're going to talk about Paizo, the publisher of Pathfinder, and they're getting caught up in this, they're calling it the diamond mess. Is that what we're calling it? It's more like diamond diarrhea. I mean, it's all over the place. It's on the floors, it's on the walls, it's on the ceilings. It's all over. All these publishers are getting caught up in this. So it's definitely going to affect tabletop, just like it's affecting the comic book industry right now. A lot of comic book publishers are owed massive amounts of money from Diamond. In fact, Dynamite Entertainment said they can't make payroll. I think it was this week. And they went to the judge. Judge is like, tough luck. We don't really care. Cry me a river, whatever, because they're in bankruptcy court. And also, Diamond is going to be selling a lot of people's inventory out the back door. This is inventory that's on consignment that Diamond technically does not own the stuff, and they're going to sell it out the back door to pay off their credit card debt, their loan debt. It's all very, very skeezy, but this is on top of everything else going on tabletop now, including the tariff situation. And, we had CMON games, CMON games. How do you pronounce this? Is it CMON or come on? I always thought it was come on. Like, come on, play a game. But I guess it's CMON. But they're really in it. Now, I guess they have like 17 outstanding Kickstarters or something. And then they had to sell off some of their properties. And we're just seeing kind of a collapse of the tabletop industry. A lot of these, or at least the, the artisanal niche tabletop industries. And I think what's going to happen is because of this, a lot of people aren't going to take chances on crowdfunders with other publishers. And even if people do crowdfund their stuff, where are they going to sell it? The Diamond situation definitely is throwing a wrench into that. And there's just kind of some tabletop is doing very well. Critical Roles, I guess, is doing well. Daggerheart and Shadow Dark. But it seems like a lot of people are just kind of walking away because the scene's gotten so damn weird. All together, but Magic cards are doing really well. So there's that. But let's talk about Paizo. They were actually the biggest competitor to D&D. Actually, they were Pathfinder was a fork, I believe, of 3.5. They kind of went their own way, and some people swear by it. They do. They like Paizo. Paizo as a company is incredibly woke, from my understanding, at this point. In fact, they had a disclaimer, I think, in one of the emails I saw, talking about how the offices were on native land and they're so sorry. But yeah, it's like, what the hell? Who cares? Nobody cares. But people in this industry do, I guess. So they have to disclaim and denounce it. But they're getting caught up in this mess too. In fact, a lot of their books are going to be pushed back now because of it. I don't know who's going to be left standing. I'm going to be honest. There are smaller publishers that are like Cephalo Fair. I guess they're owed a ton of money, or it's going to double their expenses because the tariffs they were saying, but the tariff situation's been dealt with for now. But a lot of these companies were not that viable, that solid before all this stuff started happening. Now Diamond might be the kill shot for a lot of them. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to news.clownfishtv.com for more podcasts, paywalled content, $5 a month. $5, you get some extra content, help support the channel. We're going to move our memberships over there because I don't trust YouTube. I really don't. I think there's going to be a dark day on YouTube here in the very, very near future for a lot of independent content creators. Just saying. Anyway, this come from ICV2. Paizo gets caught in the diamond mess. Gotta give a hat tip. I think Vinny sent this over. Pathfinder and Starfinder August and September releases are not available in the book channel. Interesting. So Paizo announced that some of their upcoming Q3 releases will not be available at major bookstores or Amazon as a result of the Diamond Comics bankruptcy. Paizo has been caught in the wake of the Diamond mess, as they're calling it. See, hostage inventory and the Diamond mess, as they were partners with Diamond book distributors for book channel distribution, including Amazon, of Pathfinder and Starfinder products, and are no longer shipping their products to Diamond, with Paizo evaluating alternatives for book channel distribution. And the slow pace of bankruptcy proceedings, August and September releases will not be available at chain bookstores or Amazon. So there's a whole bunch of titles. Starfinder, Era of the Eclipse of their novels, even Pathfinder Battle Cry, Starfinder GM Core Special Edition, Pathfinder Treasure Vault Remastered. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Once again, the lack of availability is only for the book channel, but Paizo expects these items to remain unavailable in the channel for the next several months. On the other side of the coin, this is generally good news for retailers, as fans can still pre-order them, okay, through their stores without competition from the book channel. So let's see what they have to say here. This is Bell of Lost Souls a couple of days ago. According to a recent blog post by Paizo, hundreds of game publishers will be caught up in the bankruptcy proceedings. Here's what this means for you. Okay, let's go look at their original blog post here, and then we'll go back to this article. Diamond bankruptcy update. Okay. As many of you know, Diamond Comic Distributors declared bankruptcy on January 14th. Hundreds of game publishers, including Paizo, have partnered with Diamond to sell their products through the book trade. Diamond has also sold Pathfinder and Starfinder into Amazon for us. So it's interesting because literally anybody can sell through Amazon. You can sell pretty much anything on Amazon. Small publishers can sell their stuff directly, but I guess you're not dealing with, it's easier just to have, if you're dealing with large numbers, it's probably easier just to have Diamond do it or whatever. All right. So they just have their schedules. Okay. Let's go back to this article here. Hundreds of game publishers are going to be caught up in it. Some of them are not going to survive. I'm going to be honest. A lot of these publishers are not going to survive. I think this was very much the boom in tabletop was very much a bubble. And I think that it's going to burst. I think we had too many independent game developers, board game developers, and a lot of them aren't really that good at business. I don't think they haven't really thought things through. I'm looking at the situation with Cephalofair, and I'm like, they're like, yeah, hey, these tariffs are going to totally kill us. And I understand that. I get that. But I'm also like, when you're doing millions and millions and millions of dollars in crowdfunders and pre-orders, it's kind of like, didn't you plan for this maybe possibly happening, or at least have, same with Dynamite Entertainment. I'm like, don't you have money in the bank somewhere that you can't make payroll next week? Diamond has only withheld payments to them, I think, for 2 months, maybe a month. I'm like, you don't have cash reserves? Like most healthy businesses at that size have cash reserves or money they can dip into or loans they can take out, or whatever they have to do to get by. Again, businesses at that size. I'm not talking like a mom and pop. I'm talking people that are making millions of dollars. So I kind of look at this whole thing. I'm like, what the hell is going on here that nobody had any backup plan for Diamond? Like, everybody could see the writing on the wall. Everybody knew Diamond was going to go belly up at some point, but everybody's like caught off guard. Like, oh my God, guys, we don't know what we're going to do. What are we going to do? I'm like, you should have just anticipated them potentially fucking you over, and I don't get it, but okay. Cause we're a very, very, very tiny publisher, and like one setback for us is like, it just can destroy us. But I'm like, I never thought that companies like this would be in worse shape than we are. Like, I never thought Dynamite would be like, yeah, we weren't paid for a month, so now we're going to go possibly have to go bankrupt or something. I'm like, what the hell? We have to launch a GoFundMe. Quick, launch a GoFundMe to save the company. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but I'm just saying. Like, that seems to be a solution for everything, right? In comics, it's like, GoFundMe. Anyway, according to the blog post, yeah, they're not going to release them. The impact of this is difficult to predict, especially since, as Paizo puts it, hundreds of game publishers had previously partnered with Diamond to get their products in the book trade. Here's a look at the update. We saw that. They expect the books will remain available through various book trade channels. Go to your local game store. Look, tabletop is pretty screwed right now. I'm going to be honest. It's incredibly screwed. Like, so many publishers, and I've seen videos, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. Not only do they have to contend with the unexpected price hikes because of tariffs or whatever, which again, I think that's been remedied, but that's short term. We don't know what's going to happen in the long term, right? But just the distribution has cratered. So what's basically going to happen, I think, is a lot of these publishers are going to have to DIY. They're going to have to, store and ship stuff themselves, which I know they don't like to do, but I think that's probably the only solution. You need to cut the middleman out completely and just be like, you know what, we're going to warehouse our games here and we're going to ship them out ourselves. And we'll do direct to consumer. We'll make deals with game stores, whatever. We'll sell through Amazon, because you can do that. If you're a publisher, you can sell through Amazon. You have to fulfill it yourself. But so I think that's probably what's going to happen. But it was a huge mistake, I think, on the part of everybody. And it's not, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone in particular, but just like collectively, we all knew Diamond was headed for this unavoidable scenario. They've been on borrowed time for years, and all the warning signs were there. And everybody's like, that's okay. All we do is print our stuff and ship it to Diamond, and Jeppy takes care of us, and then he pays us eventually. I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna happen anymore. So some people just are not gonna make the cut. And we're gonna see unfortunately, a lot of these games are gonna wind up at Ollie's, I think, because they're selling stuff out the back door. And there's already piles of independent board games and tabletop games at Ollie's. Like, I was just there 2 days ago, and I was like, man, I've never heard of these companies. And I'm like, that's probably what happened. It's probably just inventory that was sitting at one of these distributors. Somebody probably kickstarted this thing like 5 years ago, and there's a bunch of extra copies of it, and now it's at Ollie's for $4.99, when it was like a $25 game. And hell, they were clearing out a whole bunch of Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast stuff. They had the $100 Kryn tabletop game, I think, or board game. It was a board game. The Kryn board game, it was like $100, and I got for $10. Now, it's just like all this stuff is just kind of devalued at this point. And I think that's part of the problem, because a lot of these publishers, they had their stuff, on consignment at Diamond. And if Diamond does sell out the back door to Ollie's, they're going to compete with themselves. They're going to be selling it for like $25, $35, $45, $55 plus shipping on their website, full retail cost. And then you're going to be able to go to Ollie's and pick it up for like $5, $10. So what are people going to do? They're going to go to Ollie's and pick it up for $5 or $10. It's crazy, but yeah, everything is just up in the air at this point. People are talking on Reddit, which this blows my mind. This whole CMON situation just blows my mind, because Kickstarter will get on someone, an individual, if they're late on one campaign. But if you're a company like this, you can apparently have like 17 outstanding campaigns. That's barely an inconvenience, right? I mean, that's what blows my mind. But if you're an individual and you're, 6 months or a year late on a project, oh my God, guys, you can't start another project until you get that one fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? But these companies, yeah, they can just, it's because the massive amounts of money they're pushing through Kickstarter. But 17 unfulfilled campaigns, and they're in such a bad state right now that they're selling off, they're canceling games. They're not going to do any more games going forward. They're selling off some of their assets. I mean, it's just like, it's wild. I mean, millions and millions of dollars. Like, where did it go? And I think that's what happens. I think with a lot of these companies, they company too soon. And I've seen it before where they try to scale, but they put the money in the wrong place, and they wind up like hiring a bunch of people. Let's go get fancy offices. Let's go hire this person for $200,000 a year. It brings no value. They're not a game developer. They're like a community manager or something. Let's give the CEO a bunch of money. Let's spend a bunch of money going to trade shows that we really don't need to do. You know what I'm saying? So it does balloon, but I'm like, yeah, it just feels like just very much financial mismanagement all the way around in this space. And it's very sad. This is probably going to be the kill shot. I think Diamond is going to be the kill shot for several publishers, comics and tabletop. And I don't know what else to say. It's not a good situation. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.